Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Bibi. I'm a fashion entrepreneur. I've been doing this for 8 years now, officially 8 years next month, which is so amazing. And today I'm sharing with you the things that I would definitely do if I was starting a fashion brand in 2021. So 8 years in business, more than 5 years in the industry before starting my business, and there's so many things that I've learned, and I thought to do this video to just, if I was starting Lady Biba in 2021, the way that I will go, the things I will consider and things I will not play with. So everyone and their mamas have a fashion brand, because the entry to fashion is actually it has a very low barrier compared to a lot of other industries. If you know how to sew, or you have an access to a tailor, and you know where to buy fabrics, you can start a fashion brand in your home. But I'm not just advising for people to start their fashion brand. I'm just trying to say that if you want to start your brand today in 2021, it isn't too late. Rihanna started her Fenty Beauty brand when the market seemed saturated, but I think that the market is not saturated, especially if you're bringing something new, something fresh, something exciting to the table. The very first thing that I would do if I was starting a fashion brand in 2021 is focus on a category. So focusing on a category, first of all, you have to understand there are different categories in fashion. There's streetwear, there's formal wear, there's evening wear, which is also occasion wear, there's day wear, there's maternity wear. So each category deserves its own attention. Each category deserves a marketing plan. I believe that if you're not focusing on a particular category, especially when you just start, you're not allowing yourself to really master anything. And another thing is, you really want to be known for something. You want to be top of mind for anyone that's thinking of, say, oh, I want modest wear. You want to be top of mind. Work wear, you want to be top of mind. Occasion wear, you want to be top of mind. And all of that comes with a lot of planning, a lot of strategizing. If you're doing too many categories, you're literally spreading yourself thin. So if I were starting a brand in 2021, I would start with a category. So let me tell you my own story. So I actually started off doing a lot of things. I was doing different things. I was doing occasion wear, but I noticed that the one that was really selling was workwear. So I focused on workwear. So it wasn't like an initial plan. It was something that I sort of discovered doing it, that, oh my God, workwear is really working for me. In order to do this, you need to be able to experiment. So before launching your brand, you might want to do sort of like a test and see what area people respond to for you. Because I'm telling you, there will be a category that would be easier for you than other categories, and I'll recommend you start from that category. And I'm not saying now that you should only do that category for life, that you're not allowed to do other categories. I'm saying start first with that category and then expand to other categories, deeper then wider. That's what I believe. I believe you should niche down, and then from that niche you can grow from your customer base. You can upsell other categories as you see fit for your existing customer base. The next thing that I will be focusing on if I were starting a brand in 2021 is building a brand around that category. So building a brand is something, I know branding is a word that gets thrown around every time, but branding really is, what do they think about you when they see your name? Does your logo evoke an emotion? When you call 10 people to talk about your brand, is there a cohesion? And for me, I did this test. I called my team and I said, when you think of Lady Biba, write the first, was it 5 or 10 things that comes to your mind? And I saw the same words going around. So those words, like for instance, I'm in the workwear category, and the words are like power, ambition, work. There's a certain lingo that goes with that. So if you were doing evening wear, it could be glamorous, it could be elegant. You know, each category will come with its own branding, with its own positioning, with its own communication. So all of these things are things that you're supposed to consider when launching, when building your brand according to that category. It even helps you, to just focus and streamline your marketing plan. When you already know that this is what we're looking at, this is how our customer avatar is going to look like, when you know the psychographic of your customer base, then it's easier to create marketing content or a marketing plan that suits that base. Branding is so important for you as a new brand, because you need to be known, you need to stand out, and there's a plethora of brands out there, so you need to be able to stand out amongst all the other brands that are there. My next point is a long one. It's 3 sentences, so grab a notebook if you've not already grabbed a notebook before now. And it's: create many samples, launch fewer styles, create more units per style. So I'll explain. So first off, you need to create as many samples as possible, because your next genius design, your next viral product lies in the very many samples. And another reason you need to sample a lot more than you're releasing is because you need to choose the very best, as opposed to just launching every single thing that you sample. You need to look through everything and say, okay, these are my top 5. I think that there's a lot of value in sampling a lot. And now you're saying, oh, so you're sampling a lot. Say we sample like 25 styles, launch 5. And the reason why is because really it's because of your costs, and because it's easier to market less styles than it is to market a lot of styles. And I think that this is a mistake a lot of new brands are making. You're launching like 20 styles, 15 styles. Like, how do you even manage the production? Like, you need to be able to make more units per style, because that way it makes sense cost-wise. So let me give this example. You're doing a photo shoot, you're paying per look. Like, even when you're negotiating costs with your model, with your photographer, with the makeup artist, the more styles, the more pictures, and the more money you're spending. So say you do a collection that is worth or you have a photo shoot, and the photo shoot costs you like 350k, and you launch 10 styles, so that's 35k per style. And say you now make just 4 styles. Let's do the calculation. Let me just do that quick calculation. Sorry, I'm not that good at math. So that's 8,750. So 8,750 for that product, like, so it means that there's an 8,750 naira cost. I don't know how much you're selling your garments, but except you're like selling it for a serious amount, if you're selling it for like 15k and you already have 8,750 as a cost, and that's not including cost of labor, it's not including your fabric cost, it's not even including your marketing cost. I mean, and say you're going to gift influencers, you gift influencers 1 out of the 4 that you produce. It doesn't make any sense. So you need to be focused on less styles and more units per style. The next thing that I would do if I'm starting a brand today is knowing my numbers. Know your numbers. You have to know your numbers. See, I am more of a words girl than a numbers girl, but the thing is, if you're running a business, numbers are your best friend. And I feel like this is something I've said in other videos, but I really need to stress it. You need to be meticulous, and the thing about numbers is that it doesn't have to be complicated. Know what is coming in, know what is going out. Create a spreadsheet. You can create a spreadsheet by yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just in one column, write expenses. In another column, income. Do you get? Know your cost structure. Know your revenue channels. You need to know these numbers, because these numbers will either make or break your business. Trust me, coming from someone who wasn't so great with numbers. If I was starting my brand today, I wouldn't joke with it. Even before getting an accountant, before getting anyone involved in your business, start your own spreadsheet. It's really not that hard. The other side, make sure that everything that comes into your business, you're recording it, and everything that goes out, you're recording it. And take it one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with all the things that you might not know how to create a balance sheet. That's what an accountant is for. But just know what it takes to run your business, manage your cash flow, and all of that. That's so important. The next thing I would do if I was starting my business in 2021 is putting all my information on the cloud. So the cloud is one of the best things that's happened to this decade. Like the accessibility, just being able to log in from anywhere in the world. I mean, just think about the possibilities for remote work when all your information is housed on the cloud. But if you have your information only stored on the hard drive of your laptop, if that laptop crashes, Stephanie, and if you're still writing I like my notebooks, I like to write manually, but sis, it needs to go electronically online. You need to train yourself, first of all, then train your team to put the records online, because if you don't have that discipline, it'll be hard to train another person to do what you're struggling with. It is so good for your business's information. Let me tell you one struggle that I've had. So finding information for like the first maybe 1 to 3 years of my business has been a struggle for me, because I was using notebooks. So a lot of things are written in notebooks. I don't know where those notebooks are today. And it's been a serious struggle. But imagine if when I started my business, I was using the cloud, I was using Google Docs, I was using Google Sheets, I was housing all my documents in a Google Drive or in Dropbox. I mean, my life would have been so much easier, because this information is so vital because you need to look at the past, you need to look at the present to project into the future. So make sure that all your information is being stored on the cloud. My next point is have an efficient product development system. So having an efficient product development system means that you should have a very good production facility. Whether you're outsourcing or you're producing in-house, you have to make sure that wherever you're producing, they're actually it's top-notch. So in deciding whether to produce in-house or outsource, there's so many things that you have to factor in. You have to factor in, first of all, your time, how much time you can give, your resources that are available. I would say that if outsourcing might be the best when you're not very sure of how things will go and you're not sure how long-term you are going to be in the business. Outsourcing also comes with its cons as well. Both structures come with its cons and pros. And to be honest, I feel like I'll need to do a separate video to talk about producing in-house versus outsourcing production. But I'll try my best to just give you enlightenment in this point. So when you're outsourcing production, there's so many things that you need to put in place, because when you're outsourcing production, they need to understand the design that they're producing. So you need to have a specification sheet. Your specification sheet will detail every single thing that is going into that garment, and it's something that has to be very meticulous. So if you're producing in-house, you still should have a specification sheet, but you can get away with not having a specification sheet. But I would say that having a very efficient production system, you should have that specification sheet. For instance, I take for granted the fact that I have a team that already understands my design, the aesthetics, the silhouette, so I don't need to explain too many things to them. But the truth is, you can have a change of team. Your production team lead might be leaving and stuff, and you don't want to be in a position whereby your production is disrupted because you have like a change of team, or there's an emergency or something. So a specification sheet exists so that without even you speaking, they can understand what you're trying to do. So aside from a specification sheet, you should have measures in place. To build a production system, to be honest, is a lot, because you need to consider the flow, the production flow. You need to consider the machines that you need to buy, and the facilities. I mean, maybe I'm making it sound a lot more complicated than it needs to be, but the truth is, if you need to produce garments that that are quality and are up to a certain standard, you need to either work with a factory that's really, really good, or you own a factory that is really, really good. A very important factor in having a very efficient product development system is having a very good pattern drafter. This is where you shouldn't skimp on. So it's either you are a good pattern drafter yourself, or you hire someone that's really good, because every good garment starts with a very good pattern. A pattern can make or break a garment. It is the foundation. So if the foundation isn't good, that the structure is never going to hold. So you need to have a very, very good pattern drafter. This is one that you do not want to compromise on. This is not one you want to manage. With tailoring, I believe that the more people sew, the better they become. Tailoring is a skill that can be easily taught, and it can be improved upon as time goes on. But I find that if you don't have the pattern drafting skills, it's not something you can skimp on or get by on. You need proper training, and you need to be able to, because it's very, very hands-on, and you need to be meticulous when you're doing this. So if you don't have those skills, it's not something you can manage. You need to have good pattern drafting skills, or hire someone that has good pattern drafting skills. The next point is something that I sing about all the time on this channel, and it is have a website. Have a website. Have a website. And I know that some people just feel like websites are like a lot of work, and I genuinely think that people that think that way are thinking very short term. There's nothing like just being on your bed on a weekend and just seeing orders coming in. I know that Instagram is quite the instant gratification of chatting someone up, or someone chatting you up, and then you taking the order and getting the alert when you first start is appealing. But the truth is, you don't have that much time. And when you're starting, you need to be focused on the things that you need to be focused on. Customer service is great. It is great. But the thing is, customer service is not just processing orders. And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make. They think that processing orders is all about customer service. But customer service also is about the customer experience. It's also about being intuitive, about making sure that customers are being satisfied. And if all you're doing in that department is just processing orders, and that's not customer service. Even if you're polite, you need to be planning, you need to be strategizing, there's so many things that you can do with that time that will be of better long-term for your business than just fulfilling orders. That's why a website exists. A website automates the process. And I understand that a lot of Nigerians do not like to shop on websites, but the truth is, if you make your website user-friendly and you're constantly taking surveys and you're educating your customers about your website, you'll see that more people will use it. And even us, we took a survey and we saw that people that like to shop on websites, they just stick to the website, because they said, you know what, I don't want that waiting for someone to answer me. I mean, the customer service person is attending to like 10 people at the same time, so you have to sort of wait your turn, when you can just go click, 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 add to cart, and it ships. So having a website, first of all, even positions you as a brand that knows what they're doing. This is 2021. What are you doing without not having a website? There's so many other benefits of having a website, but I'm not going to go into that in this video because that's going to be too much time. But you should have a website, and it doesn't have to be complicated. There's Shopify, Flutterwave has their own store, Paystack has their own store. So there's Seller, that's SCLAR. I just found out about that one. I don't really know a lot about that one, but I mean, there's so many options. it doesn't have to be a WordPress site that's very complicated to run, but these are the options that are available. And let me just plug my fashion webinar. I'm going to leave the link down below if you're interested. Imagine we doing this thing where we're talking, we're relating, you're asking questions about running a fashion business. Imagine that's going to happen. So if you want to be a part of it, just click on the link down below and subscribe. My next point is learn digital marketing skills or hire a digital marketer. So if you're going to be an online business, a major part of it is digital marketing. I would say don't start out with ads when you first launch, but you need to, you know what, you can actually start out with ads if you know what you're doing, if you have a plan. But you need to, digital marketing is so key for your online business, for your Instagram business. Like, Instagram is, first of all, the home for fashion. Like, no other app amplifies fashion aside like Instagram does. So a huge part of that is you started your business, people don't know you. You need to get your visuals out. You need to amplify, what you're currently doing. You need to find new customers for your brand, and that is digital marketing. So if you do not have digital marketing skills, I'd advise to hire someone that has digital marketing skills. It can be a game changer for your business. And digital marketing is not just ads, it's search engine optimization, it's knowing your customer acquisition cost and lowering those costs. There's a lot that has to go into digital marketing. So get someone that knows how to do it, or do it yourself. And if you're doing it yourself, make sure you're taking courses, you're taking classes, and making sure that you're really the best person to be doing your digital marketing, at least for when you start. Later on, you can hire someone, but get the skills. And if you know that it's not your forte at all, that's fine. Get someone that knows it to do it for you. So if I started my brand in 2021, the next thing I would be doing is identifying influencers that fit my product category and reaching out to them. So when I wouldn't advise that you start off with paid influencers, because with paying influencers, I think it's so much more important to build a relationship with influencers. And let me tell you, be ready to hear no's, be ready to not even get a response. That one is normal. But you need to reach out to them as the owner of the brand and just establish. And I talk about all of this in my videos I have 2 videos on reaching out to influencers. One is a story time. I shared how as a new brand I got influencers in Lady Bieber, and what really the things you should have in place before reaching out to influencers. So I share this and I talk about paid versus unpaid influencers, the pros and cons. So listen to those, watch those 2 videos. They'll be of real help to you if you're looking at influencers. So when you have an understanding and you know how to reach out to these influencers, make sure that when you're reaching out to them with product samples, you're putting it in very pretty, very beautiful, unique packaging, because that also, they might not share your product on their feed. They might not, but the prettier and the more presentable your packaging, the more likely they're going to put it on their stories. And the thing is, when they put it on their stories, people might be curious about your brand and they might just click and find you. So these are things you should consider if you're reaching out to influence. My 10th and final point of this very long video on if I was starting a brand in 2021 is explore collaborations. So I have a video on that. So I have a video on collaborating to grow your business. I've been collaborating with Gazmadu Studios for the past 3 years. This year was our 3rd year, and each year it keeps getting better. And it's been so fabulous for my brand. It's been fabulous for her brand as well. So it's not just new brands that should explore collaborations. I mean, how many of you saw the Heinz and the Weetabix collaboration? I don't even know if they're the same holding company, because some of these people are the same holding companies. But what I do know is that Heinz is a separate brand and Weetabix is a separate brand. They are brands on their own, and they did that whole social media photo that went viral. And did you see how other corporate brands were commenting? And it was just, I feel like that was one example of how, like, bringing in two things that may not even be considered alike and bringing them together and just seeing how people react. So collaboration is something that I would always tell people to do, because collaboration just helps you exploit your different audiences. So especially when you're collaborating with peers. So that's another thing I want to mention. You can't reach out to someone that's established and say, oh, I want to collaborate with you. That's not a collaboration. There has to be, it has to be tit for tat. There has to be some sort of value that the person you're collaborating with gets from collaborating with you. So collaborate with peers, people that are also trying to build their brands. So as a fashion brand, look out for upcoming photographers, look out for upcoming and it's quite tricky, because I don't even like to tell people to collaborate, like, except there's a value that's being added. So you can't tell a photographer to shoot your 10 picture, your 10 style lookbook for free. Nah, that's not gonna happen. But you might have this piece that you think is really, really beautiful, and you can reach out to a photographer, reach out to a makeup artist that, okay, so this piece is really beautiful. How about we come together, we photograph it, and we make beautiful visuals out of it. Whatever you're proposing to the person that you're collaborating with has to make sense for them. So collaborations, I will definitely explore if I was starting a fashion brand in 2021. So I've come to the end of this video. I hope you found it enlightening. And yeah, if you found it enlightening, what are you waiting for? Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's grow this family on YouTube. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.